Target Trading Academy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Preston Vogl here at Target Trading Academies with your Micros Market Recap. Today is Tuesday, December 14th. It is just after 4:07 p.m. Eastern Time here. Let's get right into it with oil. Oil opened gap down for us today from its range yesterday and its close. As you see here, quickly came down, found support off of our HVA levels, our high volume areas that we have for our students each night, ready to go for them, and then bounced off that, giving a wicked return with that entry, and then it settled there for the majority of the day, just sideways. That's most markets today were very choppy, not a whole lot of action. Our equities had a little bit more in them. But as you can see, we did have another attempt to break lower. They just couldn't get lower than that opening low by much before the buyers stepped in again and decided to bring this up where it finally settled in that same area. So overall, we are down from yesterday's close. But we did touch the range from yesterday as well. So we somewhat went towards the range, but in the end, they rejected it. Now, moving on to gold, a little bit more action today in gold. Lately, gold hasn't really been doing much. It consolidated yesterday, as you remember, way up here just between some of these areas that we had previously. But it opened in its range barely from yesterday, and they did not like being up there, and they quickly rejected this area, came down, found support off of our HVAs, and then went back up and settled in between where it opened and the low of the day. So not a whole lot of action in gold, one or two entries, but for the most part, again, gold was very slow. Now our equities, we did open gap down in ES here. As I can scroll back for you. Gap down, and they immediately looked like they were going to take this thing all the way back towards its close, but we only got so high before those sellers stepped in, and you'll see here, and they just decided to put the pedal to the metal and reject it. So we came up, and they rejected it here. We did have a couple entries preceding this that should have been winners if they were managed according to our methodologies, and then we had several after as well. But that was a huge rejection here, and they slammed it down, giving it a couple entries, both long and short, in between these HVAs based off of those levels and our methodologies. And then they decided to bring it down even further, making some new lows even further right there before they decided to turn it around after lunch and settle inside of this HVA. So a little bit more action than yesterday. Opened gap down. We never filled that that space that they created. So that's 2 down days so far. We are closed in this area here, so we are down for the day. Down in the NASDAQ as well. Again, another day with not a ton of action in the NASDAQ. There were entries for sure, but we did also open gap down in the micro NASDAQ here. If I can scroll back. And here we are with an immediate attempt to get to that area where they closed, but they were stuffed by our HVA levels here for a monster winner. They ran it up again, giving another entry long this time for a monster winner as well. And then they went up, crept up, and they ran into the same sellers that didn't want to take it any higher over here where they brought it down. Same story, just different levels in the NASDAQ where they brought it down lower, penetrating into this HVA below, and then turning it around lunch, after lunch, where we settled towards the top end of where we opened. So that's where we are for the day. We opened down here, so not a whole lot of change, but we are down for the day compared to yesterday. So not a whole lot of change in terms of volume. It was a decent day, slower still, but that's to be expected with it being December, the holidays kicking in here. Regardless, we still had several entries, monster winners in this morning in oil. If you haven't checked out Patrick Asselon's video, he'll go over all the winners and losers and break-evens for this methodology, and you'll see for yourself firsthand how great this is. Now, let's just see if we can find one or two entries that I want to talk about. Now, this entry is submitted from Robert. It is a live trade in the micro Dow. Following our methodologies, it is $11.50 on a one lot in the micro Dow. Now, that is 1/10 of the minis. So this would be a $115 winner with one lot in the minis if it was taken in the minis. And that's just a quick example of what the micros are. They are 1/10 of the micros in most regards. Sometimes their risk parameters are a little different, but for majority, depending on your broker, it'll all transfer over as a 1/10 reduction. So this is, again, a winner live in the micro Dow on a one lot, $11.50 by Robert. Now that was taken at an edge that I don't have up here in this monitor right now, as it is not part of the screen right now, but it is a level that we have drawn for our students the night before for them to take and execute according to our methodologies from what they learned from what we taught them. We do not tell students to take entries. We don't tell them what to do. We just teach them how to trade, and it is up to each and every student to execute on their own and become their own trader. We can only do so much for students. We cannot hold their hand in executing trades themselves. That is what they need to do. They need to learn to execute for themselves, build that confidence in the methodologies and in the education at these levels that we have daily for our students. And if that's something that you're interested in, if you want to find out more information about these levels and how you can get them the night before for your trading endeavors, feel free to reach out to us. You can go to our Facebook page. Again, we are Target Trading Academy, or go to our website at targettradingacademy.com. Get in touch with a representative at either location, and they'll gladly show you why we are the #1 trading education company in the world and why we have so many live, successful students in our rooms each day. We look forward to seeing you.